welcome back to the Deep Culture Podcast. This is Michael talking about fantasy football, one of my favorite times of year. I love fantasy football so much. It is exciting to get back in the swing of things. And, I just look forward to all the great stuff like the trash talk, the seeing my friends, the winning, that is a blast. I love winning mostly. Yeah, I am the commissioner of my league, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Okay, we don't need to talk about that. But fantasy football is a lot of fun, honestly, because you really don't know what's going to happen. You can do everything right and still lose. It seems like the most drastic moments always come back at the end. For instance, last year, the guy who won the NFFL, also, by the way, go back and watch that video, the 10-year anniversary. We're now in our 13th season, the Spooky 13 this year. But the guy who won the 10th anniversary season also won last year, and he almost missed the playoffs. I think it was like a tenth of a point he made the playoffs. It's a 10-man league. 6 people make it. He barely, and I think tiebreakers were also involved. And he won that matchup, and he ended up smoking people in every round of the playoffs, including against me in the championship. I almost went back to back 3 and 4 years, which that sounds, again, I am the commissioner of the league, but I was not in the championship for I don't know how many years. So 13 seasons, the first 8 seemingly I couldn't win one. So I almost went a back to back situation. And he almost missed the playoffs, He almost missed the playoffs. So fantasy football is just like that. A whole bunch of goofy stuff happened. And I look forward to it every year. Draft moments. There are too many, really, to factor in. And I don't want to tell them my friends. But, whatever it may be, whether it's bets being made or T-shirts being worn or whatever, food being eaten, it's always a good time, and it's a great chance to get together. And we, again, going into 13 seasons, we're going strong, our fantasy football league, but that's, not to talk about myself the whole time. I want to talk about fantasy football and players. I'm starting to get into draft research mode. And I'll let you know, I'm recording this, it's July 10th. It's going to come out later. So, in a couple weeks. By this time, injuries might happen. People get cut, whatever it may be. But, and the rankings are going to change. The rankings are going to change to 1,000,000 times. So, you can't take it, what I say for this is what you got to do, or this, yeah, for sure. Things change. You never know what's going to happen. So, having said that, today I'm going to look through the rankings, which we play on Yahoo, and I'm going to go through round by round. Again, I mentioned we're in a 10-man league. I'm going to go round by round for a few rounds and say the player that excites me the most, best value, and then also the worst value in the round. I'm not going to say best player. Obviously, the first round, people would be like, well, whoever the number 1 pick is, you take Ja'Marr Chase, whatever. I get that best value. The number 1 pick, Ja'Marr Chase, Justin Jefferson, so there you don't know. And there are reasons that Ja'Marr Chase is number 1. He's got Joe Burrow. Justin Jefferson's got, McCarthy throwing the ball. But still, my point is it depends also where you're picking. So if you are picking one, yeah, I probably should take Ja'Marr Chase. But if you're picking number 9 or 5 or whatever, what's the best value? If this person falls to you, you should take. Okay? And again, it's looking at the rankings. It's just me off the top of my head. What I know about the teams from last year, the situation going into this year. And I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to be wrong about some of these guys. But I also think I'm going to be right about some of them. So hopefully no one in my league is watching, including you, Dan. So yeah, let's go ahead and start. This is round one. So the round one bust. I'll start with the bust first. The person I'm looking not overly excited about. Okay. And again, could be totally wrong. Could be totally wrong. But the person I'm not excited about the most. There's a couple that really jump off to me, but I'm going to go with the one I first noticed. I'm going to go with, and it might be controversial, but again, it's the first round, so every player is good. But I'll explain why I'm going with this person. I'm going to go with number 9. I'm going to go with Nico Collins. Number 9 for bust. He's pre-ranked in Yahoo right now at number 9. This could be different for the other apps, ESPN, NFL, whatever. Whenever you're picking at that part of the draft, 9, 10, that split, you double up picks, you kind of get a tendency to like look ahead. So obviously, if I'm picking number 9, which I am this year because I finished second, I'm looking, and honestly, the guys ahead of him: Chase, Robinson, Barkley, Gibbs, Jefferson, Lamb, Nakua, and St. Brown. Who am I looking at as a possible, like, if one of those guys, other guys, falls to me, it's going to be really tough for me to say, yeah, I'm taking Nico Collins. Reason why: injuries. The Texans offense didn't look great last year. I think they'll bounce back in the pass game. Collins played really well before he got hurt. So he's a good player. I think he's going to be a good pick. Again, you're looking at first round. You really have to hit a home run in the first round. And to me, if I'm walking away with Nico Collins as my number 1 pick, I'm just not excited. If second round pick, fine. Again, that turn, second round, okay, I'll take him number 2. But even then, I'm still kind of like I'm looking. There's Neighbors, there's Brian Thomas, there's AJ Brown. There's a few guys there that, wide receiver wise, and then on top of that, Christian McCaffrey's 14. I know injuries are a play, but that's always tempting. The rookie in Vegas, the back, Jonathan Taylor, HN. I mean, there's guys there that just are tempting that I'm not loving overly. I'm looking at it, I'm just like, first round heavy wide receivers too, which I think is interesting. Because then you look in that second half, mostly running backs. So in that second round, but I would say bust for round 1. I would say Nico Collins. For me, the other one that I looked at, now that I look at it, there's 2 other ones, I guess. But the other one that I don't overly love where he's at is Gibbs once again, because Montgomery. How much is that's the split backfield. Gibbs is a great player. I think he is, a first round pick too. I'm not even disputing the number. I'm just saying he's sometimes limited. There's no way. You have to think that the Lions offense kind of takes a step back. No Ben Johnson. More, years of tape are on him. I love the Lions offense. I love Gibbs. But he was the other one I was kind of iffy on. Still, I would take Gibbs at 4. I'm not saying I'd pass on him by any means. But he was the one that I looked at number-wise, value-wise, where I was like, I don't know if he's a slam dunk for that spot. Now, looking at the best value in the round, I say all that. And I got to go with, I think, the number 1 overall pick here. I think no matter what in that first round, Jamar Chase, the home run potential, Joe Burrow, throwing him the ball, he's going to get the ball. If he's healthy, Burrow's healthy, whatever. You don't have to worry about it. Set and forget. All these guys are Robinson, Barkley, Jefferson, all great picks. But best value first round, the guy number 1 overall. If he fell to me at number 9, which is not happening at all, it's not going to happen. If he fell to me at 2 or 3, I'd scoop him up immediately. Other guys I'd be excited about falling. That won't happen. Justin Jefferson, again, because of the quarterback situation. I think you got to take talent over quarterback indecision or how the rookie quarterback is going to play. I think Neighbors is also a good pick. I just still kind of worry about Russell Wilson at number 10. So, but anyway, that's first round. The stud, the best value, Jamar Chase, who's number 1 overall. I know I went the easy way out. And then the bust, I went with Nico Collins. So, still, I think Nico's going to have a good year. I just think if I'm looking at those top 10, the one I have the most worries about, it's him. So now we go to the second round. And the second round here on Yahoo, Derrick Henry, Gianti, Brian Thomas, McCaffrey, Taylor, Brock Bowers, A.J. Brown, Achane, Josh Jacobs, and Bucky Irving. If I'm looking at those guys, we'll go best value. We'll snake it here. So best value here. Best value. This one's tough because it could really go any way. And it also depends on what you take in the first round. You know, what your strategy is. Are you going running back heavy, which a lot of guys in my league in years past, they do. First round, they reach on running backs. And then the second round, they dial back. They take a wide receiver. So best value here. That one's super tough. Super, super tough. I mean, potential. I'm going to go here with, I'm going to go down the list. I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor, and I'll explain why. There's a lot of guys on that list that are explosive. They're going to be great. Derrick Henry, obviously a league winner, but he's getting older. He is getting older. The Ravens, Jackson, you know, he's always going to run. They're trying to upgrade their pass game. Gianti in Vegas, he's going to get the ball, right? But he's a rookie, so the potential is there. He's a great running back, but is he going to be the number one guy? I don't think so, but, you know, top 5 potential for sure. Brian Thomas, great player. McCaffrey, obviously, like you're looking at him and you're like, McCaffrey is the guy. Injuries, just you can't trust it. Bowers is a tight end. Some leagues don't even use tight ends anymore. If you are, still, I mean, you're going to take a tight end at 16, and you're going to leave some of these guys off the board. If you're good at maneuvering it, go for it. If not, it's risky. A.J. Brown, love it. Achane, Jacobs, Irving, they're all good players. But if I'm looking at Jonathan Taylor's been that number 1 before. Daniel Jones being the quarterback doesn't give me a lot of hope, but that also makes me think they're really going to run the ball. The Colts played pretty poorly last year. I think the line in years past has been good. Running-wise, I think they have something to prove. And again, I'm looking at a guy that I think can be a home run. All these guys can, but if I'm looking at the guy I think has the best chance to be better than the rest of the people in this round, I think it's Jonathan Taylor. Falling off a little bit, still younger though. Derrick Henry, at some point, age has to catch up with him. Has to. McCaffrey, that's already catching up with him. Achane has had an injury history. Josh Jacobs is a workhorse, but number 1 guy. And then also Bucky Irving. I really like Bucky Irving. Is he going to be the number 1 guy in Tampa? I don't think so. So if I'm looking at all these guys, I think he's 15. You know, so if you're picking at 12, 13, you reach on him. It's not that big of a reach. If you're picking 18, 19, 20 towards the end of the second round, there you go, right? You know, like he's in the middle there, so you're not reaching, you're not letting him fall too far, whatever it may be. I just think Jonathan Taylor is the best value of the round. That's my opinion. AFC South doesn't overly scare me either. You know, like you got the Jags, you got the Titans, the Texans. I mean, I think it's doable. Right, so I think if I'm looking at any of these guys, I think Taylor has the better chance. The one I'm most worried about, that again, if I looked in this round and I'm just not overly excited about, it's Christian McCaffrey. And it's not a skill thing, it's not points thing. Obviously, he could end up being the number 1 player. Seemingly, the years everyone forgets about him, he's the top guy. But throw injuries to the side for a second. 49ers offense seems to be like beaten up. Purdy, Is he the guy? I mean, you're going to use McCaffrey a lot if he's there, but is he there? So there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of things I don't know. He could be a league winner. Could also, like a lot of years past, could hurt you a lot. So you really have to be careful. I'm picking number 9. So right there, is that going to be super tempting? Absolutely. But also knowing that's the trap. So second round, best value, Jonathan Taylor. Bust potential, Christian McCaffrey. Just my opinion. We go to the third round here. We'll start with the bust like we did the first round. The third round, according to Yahoo right now, is Ladd McConkey, Drake London, Karen Williams, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, Trey McBride, Josh Allen, James Cook, Smith and Jigba, Lamar Jackson. Let me also say, just if I get any names wrong, sorry, but not on purpose. Just sometimes when you don't hear their names every week, you kind of forget how to pronounce them. So I'm looking at these ones. Bust potential, the most I'm worried about. It's tough. There's a couple names that come to mind, but I also I'm going to go earlier in the round. Usually it's been later. I'm going to go Drake London. I worry about him. He could take a step forward. Him and McConkey both are really tough to justify taking there. McConkey had a really good year last year too, but third round, like first 2 picks of third round for those guys, that's tough, especially the guys that come after them. I could already tell you in my league, Williams will go before them. I could tell you that for sure. I could tell you T. Higgins, even though he didn't really play last year, T. Higgins will go before them. Chase Brown will go before them. Allen, James Cook. I could see these 2 guys falling a good bit in my league. So I'm not overly excited about them. London, injury histories, McConkey, just, again, he's rookie year last year. Good rookie year. But first couple picks of the third round, I mean, that's high. So I don't know. Those would be my 2. If I had to pick one, though, I'll say Drake London. I have a little bit more faith in Herbert, than I do Penix. So I'll go with with London as the bust there. Best value in the third round. In the third round, this is where we get tough. This is where we get tough, man. Best pick, value pick here. I'm gonna go with I'll just say it. I'll go with Williams. I'll go with Kieran Williams. Early third round pick. You always have to worry about competition with the Rams. I get it. What's the Rams offense going to look like now? There's no, Puka Nacua is number 1 guy. Cooper Kupp not there. I get it. But he's been used before. He's been very good. The other guys all have question marks or quarterbacks or a tight end. Like, when I think of a best value, I'm going to be honest, if he's there in the third round, those quarterbacks right there, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, those are league-winning quarterbacks. You can count on them to be top 3, top 5. Now, I know quarterbacks if you draft them that early, you're looking for number 1 overall. But there's a lot of unsafe plays here, right? The safer plays to me in this round are Williams, Chase Brown, James Cook, and then the quarterbacks. Even Trey McBride. Trey McBride had a good year last year. And you got to think he's going to have more touchdowns. Does he have as many receptions? Does he have as many yards? You don't know. So even though he might get more touchdowns, he might regress in those other areas. Smith and Jigba is due for a better season, right? He's the top focal point now that Metcalf's not there, but also Cooper Kupp's in there. So there's a lot of unsafe plays, a lot of risk potential starting in the third round. But to me, Williams, it's just because he's been there, done that. Chase Brown had a great end to the year last year. I expect him to have a great year this year too, but never know. So third round is done. Now we go to the fourth round. Fourth round, according to Yahoo, Jane Daniels from Washington, George Kittle, Terry McLaurin, Rice from Kansas City, Garrett Wilson from the Jets, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams for the Rams. Forgot the Rams picked him up. That reminded me. So Um, doesn't affect my pick from the last round. You have Jalen Hurts, you have Tyreek Hill, then you have Breece Hall. So I honestly like this fourth round more than I like the third round. Um, it's a lot of very tempting guys. I see the best value here for me. I'm looking at there's a lot of good ones here. Because you forget about some of these guys like Rice before he got hurt last year was killing it. I can't remember, did he get suspended or not? I don't remember, but it doesn't matter. Garrett Wilson, rough quarterback situation, but super talented. Mike Evans every year is just crazy. Hall of Famer. Tyreek Hill, if Tua is fine, if he's fine, health wise, he could be the league changer. And then you also have Breece Hall, Breece Hall is crazy. I'm gonna say best value, and I'm gonna go with a safe pick because I just have not seen it. I'm gonna go with Mike Evans. I mean, like 36 overall, fourth round pick, middle of the pack. Same thing as before with a previous pick. He's right there. You can reach a little bit, and he's Mike Evans. I know he's older, but he's always done it. He's 1,000 yards, so many touchdowns. He's so consistent. Baker is better in Tampa. The other guys have league-winning potential. I think Evans gives you that consistency. That some of these other guys, injuries, team change, whatever, maybe even suspension, depending on, or really just where they're located, you can't justify being the best value. Who would I take, starting in the fourth round? I would probably take, I'm picking that second pick. I would probably take, if someone hadn't fallen, I would look at taking, if I wasn't taking Evans, I would take maybe Tyreek Hill. I know injuries. Let me see the player note on him. He had wrist surgery. Other concerns linger. Tua's concussion history. He was thrown. So really, it's about like getting the ball to him. Tyreek Hill, he had surgery. I think he should be fine. He would be the other one I would look at. Terry McLaurin was a great pick last year, but is he going to be a great pick this year? We're not sure. For bust potential, I mentioned one that I just thought of for bust potential. Terry McLaurin, I know there's a contract situation. Debo's there. But the one for me that I worry the most about is Davante Adams going to the Rams. I know it seems like, it should work out fine. It might. But older, bouncing around teams. Is Stafford healthy? Does Nakua just get 400 catches a game, which is possible? I don't know. Davante Adams last year didn't look like Davante Adams. I think that was partly the Jets. It might also be partly Davante Adams. He's immensely talented. He's a legend. But if I'm looking at values, whereas I mentioned Mike Evans as being the best value, the guy I would maybe think is the safest no matter what, that I think could also still be a league winner. Because of you're taking him in the fourth round. It's not like he's a first round pick, but like similar age, I would 100% go Evans over Adams. I think the new team dynamic, I just don't know how it's going to work out. So kind of scares me there. So best value for me that round, Mike Evans. Worst, Davante Adams. So now we get to the fifth round. We'll do a couple more. We'll go to the eighth round. How about that? So we're the fifth round now. Breece Hall, Marvin Harrison Jr., Hubbard, DJ Moore, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, Kenneth Walker, DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin, Zay Flowers, and James Conner. Fifth round, so bust first. I almost feel bad saying it, but Chris Godwin. But not because Chris Godwin is, again, not because he's not a good player or anything. He's a little bit older. He's coming off a major injury. Signed a contract to stay there. but is he going to be the same guy? You know what I mean? Like Chris Godwin, the Bucks, I think did right by him, rewarding him for all his hard work. Still, to take him in the 5th round, he could be a great player, but some of those other guys I would be more excited about. He's the guy I worry about the most. DK I also kind of worry about. He should be the top guy in Pittsburgh. Rodgers, him, Muth, Jonnu, Jalen Warren out of the backfield. But, yeah, I don't know. Kamara is another one. Kind of worries me. Just seems to be slowing down a little bit. Not like physically, just like in the offense. They're not using him like he really should be used. When he was a rookie and just coming out, he had Ingram running the ball through the numbers. He was the pass catching back who would also run. Now obviously he's the top guy. He's getting paid more. He needs to run the ball more, but he's fallen off a little bit. So he would be my next choice, I think, as well. So Godwin, unfortunately, I hope he bounces back this year, though, and proves me wrong. Best value, no matter what, even though it's an early 5th round pick, Marvin Harrison Jr. I just think he's too talented. He's too talented not to show up. I think rookie season, even though he got better as the year went on, I feel like he still has a lot to prove. I think a lot of other rookie receivers did well last year. I think Harrison Jr. Needs this year, and I think he will. I think he for me would be the guy I would target because he's young too. A lot of these guys, they're starting to get up there or have been around a while, and sometimes in the NFL when that shine wears off, that newness factor, sometimes you just got to go with the younger player just because they're younger, the shiny new toy. So worst value for me that round, the 5th round, would be Chris Godwin, the best value, Marvin Harrison Jr. at 41. Now we get to the 6th round here. David Montgomery for the Lions, running back. Let me make sure I get this name right. Jameson Williams for the Lions as well, wide receiver. Joe Burrow at quarterback, 53. Devonta Smith, wide receiver. Sam Laporta, tight end. Tony Pollard, running back, Tennessee. Hampton for the Chargers at running back. Cortland Sutton, Denver. Jalen Waddle and Caleb Johnson for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So this one's tough. This one's a tough one for me. There's a couple names I could go. Last year, I would have said David Montgomery. I drafted David Montgomery, and I mentioned it in the 1st round with Gibbs. What's that value? Montgomery was crazy last year. Seemingly every game, it's touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. But if he didn't score in those first couple drives, it seemed like it became the Gibbs show. Like the first drive, he'd have like 10 carries and a touchdown. It's like, yeah, this is going to be a crazy game. And then he'd end with like 18, 20, which is great. But when it's all in the first quarter, it kind of gets your hopes up. I don't think he's the worst value. I don't think he's the best value. A lot of Lions in this one as well. Best value. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. I'm going to go with the quarterback. Joe Burrow is a league winner. I think he's a slow starter. In years past, everybody takes him, and it's seemingly the team that takes him, they're 0-3 in fantasy or 0-2 or whatever. But if you have him at the end of the year, 40 points, 50 points, whatever it may be, I mentioned our fantasy football league. There's 13 years. There's only 2 quarterbacks that have been the starting quarterback on any winning team in our league, which is crazy to think about. Also crazy to think about, I'll tell you in a second. Another stat I just remembered. Joe Burrow has been on 3 fantasy winning championships. And some of those he was traded for midway through because he was struggling or whatever, but he just turns it on late. I know that seems kind of hypocritical because like 3 weeks out of 14 or 13 or however long your season is, that's a big chunk. That's kind of why you draft another one, maybe. But I'm looking ahead. I'm not playing for a 14-0 season. I'm thinking of fantasy football championship. And for me, if I'm looking at all these guys, Montgomery good, Jameson Williams good, Smith good, Laporta didn't have a great year last year. I'm going to go with a quarterback. Sixth round, I think, is a fair round to start taking a quarterback too. At this point, Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels are gone. So it's not, or Jalen Hurts. So you're looking at the fifth quarterback range here. Like you're four other teams drafted a quarterback. You're the fifth one. So it's not like you're reaching for a quarterback, but you're also going with a pass heavy offense. So he's gonna pass the ball. He's gonna get touchdowns. He's the star of the team, the star of the franchise. So to me, that's a safe pick compared to some of these other guys. I'm going to tie for this one, and I'm going to explain why I'm going to tie for this one. Is the two rookie running backs. Rookie running backs can be really good for fantasy football, and I think these guys will have some value, but also, will they? So Hampton for the Chargers, Najee Harris is there, right? Like the Chargers signed Najee 1 year, but also, even though they took him early, you have to think that Najee's going to touch the ball some. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to be non-existent. Now, maybe by the end of the year, he overtakes Najee. He's getting more carries. But do you really want to play the waiting game? I don't know. Caleb Johnson for the Steelers. Again, third-round pick. So he was not drafted as early. Even though he's ranked ahead of Jaylen Warren in Yahoo's rankings, but they have Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren is a good player. They got rid of Najee Harris. They they still have Warren. You have to think like he's going to be involved. So for me, a tie there. It's kind of a cop out. If I had to pick one over the other, I would probably take the Nope. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I'd probably take Caleb Johnson over Hampton. Even though Caleb Johnson, third round pick, I just feel like he would be more involved. If Najee's running the ball, actually, you know what? I don't know. I don't like either of them. So I might like them after watching them a week. I just don't know, and I don't want to take someone I don't have a good gut feeling on. Even though I really like taking rookies, I like taking younger players. I'm scared of both of those guys, and I have a feeling one or both of those guys are going to be crazy this year. But I don't know. I'm not excited about either of those. So that round, sixth round, Burrow, best value, worst value, the rookie running backs from the Chargers and the Steelers. Now we get to the seventh round. Isaiah Pacheco for the Chiefs, DeAndre Swift for the Bears, Travis Hunter for the Jaguars, Xavier Worthy for the Chiefs, Chris Olave for the Saints, Harvey for the Broncos, Roma Dunes for Chicago, Aaron Jones for Minnesota, George Pickens for Dallas, and then rounding out that round, the Baker Mayfield. So, what is this? The seventh round. So worst value first. This one's tough. Worst value for me. I know there's another rookie on there, and you can say, not fair. Passing down back, they took J.K. Dobbins, the rookie running back for Denver, but I don't want to be a cop out there. I used that for the last one, so I'm going to shy away from rookie running backs. I'm going to focus again on a rookie, but rookie wide receiver. I'm not overly sold on the idea that Travis Hunter is going to come in and just be an all-out wide receiver. Right? They want to play him both ways. That's the whole appeal. They have him listed on Yahoo as a wide receiver. I don't know. Like if he's running as a corner at any point, the Yahoo note saying that they primarily view him as a wide receiver. They plan to give him reps at corner. Too much indecision. I think the NFL, he's going to try it. It's going to happen a couple times. Is he going to stay at wide receiver? I mean, is he? I don't know. It's tough. Travis Hunter's immensely talented. He scares me a lot, though. He's not a player that I overly would be excited about taking, and then 100% could prove me wrong. Weak division in my eyes too. He's playing with Jacksonville, Titans, Colts, Texans, but I don't love it. And I'm only saying that because Harvey, again, I don't want to do a rookie running back 2 rounds in a row, but Travis Hunter scares me a lot. So he'd be someone I honestly would avoid unless he fell a little bit longer. Best value for me, there's a couple notable ones. But on the flip of that, I'm going to go with Xavier Worthy. I think Worthy in the 7th round, towards the end of the year last year, really found his footing. Kelsey slowed down too. Running the offense is a little more run heavy in Kansas City, so Pacheco is probably my next choice. But I think Worthy being a home run threat, 5 catches, 125 yards, a touchdown, I could see it weekly. You know what I mean? And that's with Mahomes maybe getting 250 yards passing. So I can just see it. You know, the speed is there. I think the speed kills. It's tough. So last one. We're the 8th round here, and the last round. Closing this thing out. Looking at the players, we have Patrick Mahomes, which is crazy to think about. Crazy to think about. Travion Henderson, New England running back. T.J. Hockenson, 73. Calvin Ridley, 74. Addison, 75. Bo Nix, 76. Judkins, 77. Brian Robinson Jr., 78. McMillan, 79. And then at 80, Jerry Jeudy. Oh, Jerry Jeudy sneaking in there. Strong showing last year. Last round, even numbers. Start with best value. I mean, is it a cop-out to say Patrick Mahomes? I know run-heavy offense. He's really been a fantasy disappointment. I could also throw in Bo Nix here. I would say the quarterbacks. But I'm excited about Judkins as well. Let me look at the player note here. I'm going to stick with Mahomes. I like the thought of Judkins. I don't see them sticking too long with Jerome Ford. I don't think so. I think highly touted. He's an Ohio State guy as well. I believe. Yeah, he's a Ohio State guy. So that kind of goes into it. I think Mahomes, I know the offense has changed. It's more run heavy. They're more focused on winning. But I think kind of like mirroring Brady's career, there was a point where Brady, Mahomes already had that earlier in his career where he's putting up crazy stats. Brady didn't do it that way, but there's a point in Brady's early to mid career where it was like, he's good, but is he the best, right? Like, he was winning championships, but Manning had better stats, whatever it may be. I think Mahomes is going to have to pass a little bit more. I think eventually the offensive line, right? Like, the very run-heavy Pacheco's great, but Mahomes, I think, also is going to want to put up stats. Like, he's going to want, hey, Josh Allen's getting this, Lamar Jackson's getting this, what little legacy thing, like, I kind of want to throw for 4,500 yards, 50 touchdowns, whatever it may be. I think Mahomes is the best value in the 8th round. At this point, the other quarterbacks I mentioned, it's not like you're taking a huge gamble. It's the 8th round. You're taking the guy that's considered legitimately the best quarterback in the league. It's just fantasy football is different. And worst case scenario, okay, I play somebody else, right? Like, you're in the 8th round. You're probably going to draft another quarterback. In the 9th, we're looking ahead. You got Herbert, Kyler Murray. You have some other guys later on. Jared Goff had a great year last year. Dak is putting up numbers. Jordan Love, will he step up? CJ Stroud. So there's guys that you could pick up that it's like, okay, if Mahomes isn't the guy, if he has another year like he did last year, I switch at one of those other guys if you're worried about it. It's Patrick Mahomes. If this was the 5th round, 6th round, I would say skip him. 8th round, I think you got to take Patrick Mahomes. And some of these other guys, again, it's not like they're surefire things. So we're getting to that part. Mahomes, to me, is the closest to a sure thing. Like, that worst case scenario is going to be like the 15th best fantasy football quarterback, which is not good. Don't get me wrong, but that's worst case scenario. Best case scenario is quarterback number 1, and you took him as like the 10th quarterback or the 11th quarterback. He's after Baker Mayfield. And again, that's not a shot at Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield puts up stats. I'm just saying, worst case scenario, he's usable some weeks and others he's not. Best case scenario, you took him in the 8th round, and he's the best quarterback in the league. So I'm going to go Mahomes there. Worst value to round this thing out. Worst value, that's a tough one. I'm going to say Jerry Jeudy, and I'm only going to say that because I think it's an offense thing. I'm worried about Cleveland, who the quarterback's, going to be. Jerry Jeudy, really not a lot of prolonged success. So it's kind of almost like a prove it. Hey, you did really well last year. Let's see if you can do it again. But for me, that's where I'm going to go with that one. So we'll wrap her up right there. First 8 rounds. After that, we still have some names. You get in the ninth and 10th round. There's some guys still there. But at that point, do your homework a little bit. Yeah, you do your homework a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. So we'll stop there. We'll call her quits. And what I get right? What do you think I'm going to be right about? What do you think I'm going to be wrong about? What are your thoughts? Put those in the comments. What should my fantasy football team name be? Let me tell you my fantasy football team names just in order here. 2013, 2015. I'm actually not going to say that one. I'm going to keep that one to myself for reasons. 2016, the graveyard, because all my players got hurt. Finished last. 2017, the commish, because I'm the commissioner. 2018, star of the league. I think it had something to do with Suicide Squad coming out that year or soon. 2020 was Jordan meme. It was the crying Jordan meme. 2021 won a championship. It was every week it was changed to BTS names. 22 Department of Fantasy Justice. 23 I got the Grimace Shakes. Or was that 20? No, that was 24. No, 23 was I got the Grimace Shakes. And last year, what was last year? Long John Silver's #1 fan. That was my team name last year. So what should my team name be? Give me some suggestions in the comments below. So we'll wrap her up. We'll call her quits. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you have a good fantasy football season. Unless you're playing against me, then I hope it's bad. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bid you adieu. And peace. We're out.